Hello, this is Brad from Unauthorized Access with,
Chase.
and this isn't opposite day. For some reason, I am in charge now, even though he's doing all the stuff. I'm leading all the conversations.
Yeah, I feel like we need to hear more than just my fucking voice all the time. So Brad's gonna be doing the majority of this next review, which is World of Tanks when we get to it.
World of Tanks, not Tang. Over the phone, it sounded like you were saying World of Tang, and that would have been
that would have been the best thing ever.
I feel like I would have preferred it, but you know what? Tanks are fine. I'll be playing tanks.
Yeah. Oh god, dude, my abs hurt so bad. I'm sorry. For those of you that don't know, a few of my friends and I, we started working out, and we did some like P90X shit. It's not exactly P90X, but it hurts about the same, real bad.
I just went home. I just went home and ate food.
And it just hurts real bad. Like my abs hurt. They're killing me. But right now what I'm doing is I'm downloading some mods for World of Tanks. God damn it! I'm gonna have problems saying this one, and it's not even hard. It's not even hard like Sarge's Heroes,
Army Men, Sarge's Heroes.
Okay.
2, the second one.
And it's like I almost got it, but
Sarge's Army Heroes, man.
No, I'm downloading some mods that'll change the way my tanks look. They're gonna make them look a lot more manlier.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it, because I'm gonna be the one who's playing.
Yep. Since this is going to be our first ever podcast, let's get right down to business. The first topic is what you would like to see in your perfect video game.
Oh dear Jesus.
Yeah.
One thing that
well, what kind of genre would you want it to be like? What
genre? My ideal genre, my favorite genre, is probably first-person shooter.
Okay.
It is that's my favorite type, and even like, because I've been playing Deus Ex Human Revolution for the last few weeks, and even though it's technically first-person shooter, it's got a lot more to it than just shooting from the first-person perspective. And Chase is like writhing in pain right now. You can't see it, but he's just writhing right now.
It hurts so bad.
It hurts so good.
Oh, goddamn.
It'd be first-person shooter. There'd be an emphasis on decisions you make while playing affecting later.
So you mean like Mass Effect kind of deal, or
like Mass Effect, but kind of like, and even let me think, because I heard a good analogy the other day where it's like every decision you make takes you to a different branch of an overarching tree, where like it's not just you choose, I want to go good because I want to level up all my good points. It's like, I think this situation would be best if I help this guy out. So I help this guy out, then I go on a different story thread where he later shows up and then is there to help me. Which, something kind of like that is happening in Deus Ex, which I'm really loving. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the game, how like I've saved 2 people when I could have just let them be, and then they helped me immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Although one guy, it was kind of cheap, because I helped him escape from authorities, and all he did was give me money.
I will tell you what, though. Later on in the game, there may be 1 or 2 things. I won't ruin them for you. But if you do help them, you will get fucked over. Very hardly.
And that's another
Very
thing.
Hard.
That's another thing, too. Like, there are some decisions, because there are a lot of games and quests in games where it's just like, okay, this is a quest I've been given. I'm going to accept it because it's a thing to do. It'll give me a reward. Where there are some... I'd like to see a game where there are quests that if you choose to accept them, it'll take time out of the main quest and it'll fuck you over later. Like that's what I thought they were going to do with one quest, where you could decide to help your pilot friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, like, okay, there's this quest in conjunction with the main quest that is kind of, I have to hurry to get through the main quest, because if I wait too long, I don't know what bad things are going to happen.
She will die.
Not her, but, like, I was thinking, I have this main quest that's the big story arc of the game. I need to get this done as soon as possible. If I get distracted with too many side quests, it's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. And I thought that was gonna happen, but no, they just happened at the same time. I would like to see a game that tries to do that. That, you know, there are some quests you just can't do. And
it's my background actually, Persona 4.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to either it's really fucking hard to balance out, you know, leveling and gaining friendship, which you need friendship, you know, the making friend like bonds. That's what the things are in the game. Making bonds with sorry about that. Making bonds with these people, that's the main way to strengthen your characters like Persona. Like, that's the monster or your inner shadow that fights for you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have a time limit to save this person.
Yeah.
And if you don't save the person in the time limit, they die and the game is over. But then you also have to balance in all these extra activities that you have to do in the game. And it's really, I'll tell you what, it's really fucking hard, because if you do all the like friendships and everything, like, you can't, if you pick to hang out with your friends this one day, you can't go and do the dungeon that day. So it's just prolonging it even longer.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be on the last day and you'll be like, yeah, I got all these friends, but I fucking blow. I can't kill the boss.
Yeah.
And then all that time you just did, I mean, you're done. Like, the game ends, one of these main characters dies.
You see, like, that's the kind of thing. Like, I'd like to see a game where you actually have to. You can't just, okay, accept this quest because it's a quest. I'll get rewards. Hooray! I'd like to see a game where you have to think. Okay, this quest I'd like to do. I don't think I can, or I don't think it would make sense for my character to do this. Which is another thing I'd like to see. I like. Let's see, Skyrim.
Yeah.
As much as I loved Skyrim, it didn't really do that well. Like,
I felt Skyrim was a lot like the Fallout series. I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong, Skyrim's fucking fantastic. But I'll tell you what, though. Sorry about that, guys. We were just closing the windows.
Closing windows. You might have heard some jangling in the background.
The thing is, what really ruined Skyrim for me, and I know this is going to sound weird, but Oblivion's expansion, Shivering Isles, that expansion ruined Skyrim for me.
Okay.
You're probably like, what the fuck? You know how Skyrim didn't have too many, like, beautiful or vibrant colors? It was like a...
It was realistically dark and grimy.
Yeah, like... And I understand that's what they were trying to go for.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be Skyrim, you know, home of the Nords, you're a bunch of, like, dudes like, whoa.
Dudes.
But Shivering Isles, if you've ever seen it, it's so vibrant and beautiful. It's like they took the sci-fi world and they put it in there, and it just fits so well, and the quest line was so good. And, I mean, you people can argue with me, but I'll tell you what, Shivering Isles really did ruin Skyrim for me. It's just so good.
That'll lead to another thing that'll work into my favorite, my ideal game. But anyway, one thing, like I was saying with Skyrim is, like, the choices you made weren't really choices. They were just quests that you did, and then, like, if you slayed a dragon inside of a town, that's a big deal, because you just slayed a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
But the characters in the town whose village you just saved won't acknowledge that at all.
What do you mean, in Skyrim?
In Skyrim, like...
Well, they'll be like, whoa, holy shit, you're the dragon boy.
For about 5 seconds.
Yeah, and then they'll just get on into their lives.
Then they'll walk away. And then they won't mention it ever again. They won't go like, aren't you the Dragonborn guy who just saved our village like 2 days ago? They'll just be like, why, I used to be an adventurer like you. End it. Nope, too much. But no, like, they'll look at you and it won't click that you just saved them. I'd like a kind of recognition, like I did something. Everyone in the game is going to remember it. And also, there was another. I'd like little things to matter in little ways. Or maybe little things in big ways.
Wait,
but
what? Little things in little ways?
I like little things, because, like, at one time when I was playing Deus Ex, I left a door open when I entered some guy's apartment.
Oh, okay.
And then I turned around, and there was this crazy homeless guy about to beat me up. And my immediate reaction was, I forgot to close the door, therefore drifters can just wander in and kill me. I'd like to see that added into a game.
But that actually wasn't the case.
That actually wasn't the case in Deus Ex. That was actually just part of the quest. But I'd love to see, like, if you forget to close a door, or you, forget to, close a vent that you crawl through, an NPC will notice it and go, that's not right. Step up security.
I feel like that's been done in a game, and I've played it. I'm looking at my game cabinet right now trying to remember. I want to say it was something from the Metal Gear Solid series, but for the life of me, I can't remember. Like, where if you leave something open, you're going to be like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Dragon Age. I cannot remember, but yeah, that's really... The small things matter in a game.
Yeah.
They really do.
I do like... I would love a game like that. And also, in terms of color, I want it to be colorful.
Yeah.
I want it to be schnazzy to look at.
Like Journey or Flower.
Or even Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, that was... Like, game may have not have been that great. I didn't like it, truth be told.
I only played the demo. I liked the demo, but I could see, like... I've heard, it's just 6 hours of the demo.
Yeah.
Which I can understand how it'd get too much, but I liked... Like, my desktop background is the Mirror's Edge city.
Like, it's really cool.
It's because I like the colors to pop. And recently, a lot of games have been getting realistic instead of colorful. And, like, it works in some games, but then, like, even in Skyrim, I got so tired of looking at the insides of dungeons and caves and all that. It was all brown and green. Like,
there was, however, one dungeon, I don't know if you got to it, where there was like a fucking forest inside. Like,
I've seen
there,
it.
It's in the town of Dragon's Reach. You go and get like Whittlebane or something. You get the sap from this tree. That place, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Why can't they all be like this? And they're not. They're just dark, dank, and awful.
Like, even Deus Ex, it's orange, but it's too much orange. It's like a different color than what you usually get, but it's just too much of it. I'd like bright, contrasting colors like Mirror's Edge or Viva Pinata.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, Flower, Journey. Even Journey? That was kind of a...
The final part.
The final part... Well, the final part was like snow-topped mountain. It was all kind of white.
Yeah, but you also had like all the water and like all the different colored like animal things floating around. But then again, you have to remember the locations where you're in
a desert.
How about that tower? Whenever you lit stuff up and all the water, did you see that? Were you there for that part?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Like when you first get to the tower and all those lights, this glow, that goosebump moment.
Another game that kind of like the first Halo, the second mission.
Yeah.
That, like, when you first get on the Halo, that had a whole bunch of contrasting colors. It was like really brightly vivid blue sky, like bluish purplish sky, and then green trees and gray mountains, and it looked beautiful. And it's because there were so many contrasting colors. It wasn't just gray, brown, and tan. It was all these different colors, and I'd like to see more of that in a game. I'd also like to see punishment for doing things too slowly.
What do you mean?
Like, you have a time limit, like, not punishment like if you don't complete this in a certain amount of time, you die.
Okay.
But more like, if you don't do this in a certain amount of time, there will be a punishment that'll hinder gameplay, like, not gameplay, but it'll hinder progress later.
Okay.
Like, you might be so slow that you fall down a hole, but you won't die. You'll just have to go a different path.
It'll like take longer. Or...
Yeah, because you fell down a hole and you have to either climb back out of the hole or like go through a cave.
Okay.
Go through a cave to join up again with and continue. But it won't just be, you get to walk straight forward. You fell down a hole, you have to go a different way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I like that. That's good. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And I don't know, because like I'm having trouble deciding whether it'd be like an open world game or like a linear game, because both game types work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It just, if it's linear, it has to have a good story, and if it's open world, it has to have a good environment.
Mm-hmm.
And like, let's just Skyrim has a good environment, but Deus Ex has a good story.
Yeah, I mean, I like the story in Skyrim, but with all the shit that was going on, you could easily get sidetracked and lose, like I was like, oh crap, Dragonborn, yeah, I'm a badass. Like, they really didn't do that in Oblivion. They were just like, oh yeah, you're a prisoner. You're helping getting the guy turned into a dragon and beating up Mehrunes, Dagon, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. You're important, but you're not like the shit. Skyrim, you're like, you are the Dragonborn. You will kill Black Dragon. I can't. Red Eyes Black Dragon. What is his name?
Does it start with an A?
I feel like it does. Oh my god.
The World Eater.
Yep. Deathwing. We're calling him Deathwing.
About 20 minutes later, one of us will just scream it out loud.
Yeah.
We're like, we figured it out! But right now, we can't remember.
What? I know you said you wanted it to be a first-person shooter. What kind of setting? Like a sci-fi type of deal? Like futuristic, back in the past? Like, I'm kind of...
modern? Well, hold on. Let me think,
because if you get modern, you can't do, like, a lot of, like, futuristic technology in there. Like, you can't really...
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe, like, alternative modern. Like, I don't know, like, maybe not just an alternative universe, like, where it's, aliens or, like, demons or weird, different creatures.
Okay.
Which, there was a game called, like, Xenoclash.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Mm-mm.
That, I've heard of it, I've never played it, but, like, if you look at that game, it's really weird and unique. And I love that kind of, like, kind of alien, but also, well, it's mostly alien, but it's also kind of like even tribal, because they're like aliens that aren't super advanced scientific. They're aliens that are kind of, backwards and super zealous, religious, this weird cult kind of, voodoo kind of thing.
Oh,
even.
that's freaky.
Well, but like, I don't think they practiced voodoo, but they had this weird kind of different, like, belief system going on. And it looked really cool, and it was a really cool environment, and I like that kind of alternative aliens who aren't technologically proficient.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like humans in the sense that they're learning to evolve just like we did.
All right.
But there's also a new game coming out. It's called Yog Ventures.
What is that?
It's
like Yog Sagoth, like
no. There's
the
this
Cthulhu creature.
No, it's like based on the Yogs cast, which is kind of a video game Yogcast, but like the environments that they built, not necessarily the game itself, but the sketch art of the game. That's the kind of environment I would like, and it's kind of hard to explain to someone who hasn't seen it. But it's like big rocky cliffs. But, like, also lush, like, almost Lorax-looking trees.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just really bright and vivid and expansive. And I don't know how that would work in a FPS game, but I think it could, like, that's...
Well, I mean, you could always do what make it like when you're moving and walking around, have it third person, so you see the person, but when you go to shoot, it's first person. That's kind of what Deus Ex does, isn't it? Or the newer one.
The newer one, the Human Revolution, does it
not
like that. Right. It's backwards. It's first person. When you shoot, it's third person.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I mean, FPS is my favorite genre, but I feel like third person could work in like because the game I'm kind of describing is kind of an RPG kind of game.
Okay. Now that you just said that, I feel like it's a good time to transition to what I would like to see in my ideal game.
Okay, I'd call this game, by the way, Pants Drizzle. Anyway, trademarks. Anyway, go.
The realm of RPGs, I really want to make a good RPG, like what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, the ones where you could sit down and you could play it for like hours and be like, yeah, this shit never gets old. Today's RPGs they're not even like the same standard. I feel like they've been dumbed down to, because video game developers think that we're all retarded and can't,
Call of Duty.
Yeah, really. And it's like, in my game cabinet, if you look, all of my RPGs, like, if there's a good RPG, I'll get it. Like, I've got Lost Odyssey over there. I've got all the Final Fantasies, even 13. Never mind, I'm not even going to talk about that. I mean, I've got, like, a lot of PS2 ones. I've got the Xenosaga series. I mean, I really love RPGs, and I feel like a console-based RPG is what I'd want to make, because Nintendo does a really good job of putting out handheld ones, like they do with the Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics, something like that, or, they have not put out a good one, like a really, really good one in forever, and I feel like that RPGs are a dying breed.
RPG?
Role-playing games.
I know, but like what? Because Skyrim's an RPG. Deus Ex technically an RPG in the sense that you're inserting yourself to the character. You're making decisions as that character. You're not Jensen, but you're making decisions as him.
I'm trying to think of the name of it. Like, you've played a Final Fantasy game before, yeah?
Never. I played a demo. I played a demo of the first one, and I didn't like the turn-based combat.
That's kind of what I'm feeling like. Is a good turn-based like
a
RPG.
Turn-based. Well, so turn-based strategy maybe.
I don't know if it would be strategy, because I mean, I don't know.
Like is Pokemon? Is that the kind of game you're talking about? Because that's definitely turn-based.
Yeah, I'd like it to be turn-based. But I mean, I would like a good like role-playing element in there as well.
Like, would you want to design, like, make your own character, or
If you did make your own character, I feel like a lot of games haven't done this, but like okay, Mass Effect, yeah, they do a good job. Like, if you make a character, then that, like, they really need to make emphasis on that character. Like, make him talk, for one.
Oh,
like,
yeah, definitely.
With the character that doesn't like do anything. Like, they have voice actors for everyone else, but your character is just like
like in
silent.
Like in Saints Row the Third. Not only does your character talk, and not only can you change voices if you want, like have different voices, but like your character like has a personality of their own. Like he's and I don't know if this would change, and that's something I could maybe try. Like your personality will change depending on what decisions you make in the game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Infamous does that actually.
Infamous.
Yep. It does a really good job of it. Like, if you pick the evil decisions, like, where if you want to keep, like, the food, like food for, like, the people, give it to the people or keep it to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your attitude changes, your powers change. I mean, I kind of like, I don't know, I like that element, but I feel like the main character, if you are able to, like, customize it, that developers should focus more on making your character more part of the story. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like, keep going.
I just don't feel like when there are games where you make your own character. Like, okay, Saints Row 3, something like what Saints Row 3 does.
Yeah.
Like how your character has a voice. They're there. They're not just like
watching. They're participating. They're not just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Which sometimes I felt like Skyrim. A lot of stuff you're just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Especially stuff, when the, what do you call them? Stormcloaks? Stormcloaks.
Yeah.
When the Stormcloaks take over, I think it was a Whiterun.
Oh, is this if you're doing if you're siding with the Stormcloaks?
Yeah, I never got to play as the Empire because I only did one playthrough. I think.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, if you you go and you slay things, but then the final cutscene is mostly between the Jarl and Ulfric. They mention you a couple times, like the Jarl will look at you and go like, "You dirty bastard," but that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk to the Jarl. The Jarl will just talk at you and go like, "I don't like you anymore." And then he and Ulfric have a little verbal thing. You don't get to respond to the Jarl. You don't get to talk to him. But so what you're saying is like have a game where if you do something like that, you'd be able to like you yourself would be able to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And I really like fantasy elements. I really do, like Skyrim, Oblivion, stuff like I know it's Elder Scrolls stuff. Star Ocean. It's like it's in the future and everything. It is really good. Like, I mean, some of them are not that great.
So like, are you more fantasy than sci-fi, or like?
No, like just because it's fantasy doesn't mean it has to exclude sci-fi. Because I mean, Star Ocean does a really good job of pulling sci-fi and fantasy together. Like, you have characters that can like summon like these mythical magic beasts and all that, and then you have characters that duke it out like these like scientific weapons, and you have robots and shit. Like, they combine it really well.
I heard of a game where like I don't, and this could be like I might have dreamt this one day, but like there was a game I think where like the two factions that you could choose to be either like two factions that were warring against each other.
Okay.
And one was scientific based technological warfare, like big sci-fi group against like pretty much the magic wielders. And I don't remember what game it was. I think it might have been an MMO.
I mean, that sounds like a game. I mean, it sounds like something that should have been done.
Something that either should be done or definitely could be.
Yeah.
And might have already have been, but I can't remember.
Boners, dude.
Boners.
I don't know.
I'm so disappointed. I want to shout out boners.
But yeah, like I really like the fantasy element. I would like it to be an open. I like open world. I like having all the side quests. I like being able to do that. Where, like, if you should, I feel like there should be a game after the final boss.
A game. Oh yeah, like an after you beat the game.
Like a post game.
Post game.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be like a sandbox mode where you can just do whatever, or where there's still more stuff to do?
There's still more stuff to do. Like, because there are some games like Tales of Vesperia, when you beat the final boss, the ending, you're like, what the fuck? What? Like, why is it ending like this? You know, like, there should be something after that to, I don't know, give more closure, or like, or boss fights that you don't really expect to be the final boss. I've played a few games where like you beat it and then the credits will roll and I'll be like, well, that was it?
Oh yeah.
Or like the ending's just so like, it's not. I want a dramatic ending. Like, I want either characters to die or them getting something happening. I want it to be freaking dramatic.
Yeah. I'm
memorable.
trying to think right now. Because, well, first of all, Modern Warfare 3, that's not an open world game, but like the final boss, I felt underwhelmed because like it just seemed too clean cut. Like, you kill the main bad guy, yay, and then it cuts right there, and you have a scar. The game fades out, and that's the end of the game. And then, like, let's say in Halo 3,
oh, that shit.
After you beat the final boss, massive air quotations, it kind of shows what happened afterwards. Just barely, but it kind of does. Like, you get to see, like, they had the funeral. The Arbiter and his people are going back home. And then Spoiler alert, by the way.
And then you see the Chief and Cortana.
Yeah, you see them and what's going on with them. I feel like if you haven't played Halo 3 at this point, it's kind of your fault. So no more spoilers. But you see that, it's like, okay, it's kind of open-ended. It's kind of closure, kind of open-ended. And I felt like the final boss of that game wasn't necessarily the shitty final boss we actually got. It was more like the final boss was Halo. Like Halo itself, the arc, the Covenant, the final boss was destroying the thing that could destroy the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Which that felt pretty epic, and then just a little more. What happened after would have been better.
I'll tell you what though, the driving scene with the Arbiter, like the actual driving over the stuff while it's collapsing.
Yeah.
Genius.
That
I thought that was incredible.
That I'm gonna count that as the final boss, and I'm proud of that final boss because that's just something that just gets your like it definitely felt like the end was there. Like this is the end. This is what's
you knew it, and that like you when you saw the whatever that ship was, I can't even remember that jump. You're like, that's it. I did it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And on Legendary, that stuff was really hard.
Yeah.
All the, like, not so much the driving part, but the part where you had to go through, like, the tiny little bases.
The tiny bases and the massive amounts of
the flood and everything. Yeah.
That was awful. And I tell you what, I'm thinking Reach, Halo Reach. That game, I liked the ending of it a lot.
The credits, like when you were fighting off the elites.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you knew it was going to happen all along. Because, first of all, they had the flashback at the beginning of, your guy's helmet. And then second, this was the place that everything started going bad. So you knew pretty much everyone involved was going to die. And I like how they just didn't have like, okay, and then 6 dies at the end. They have it so that 6 dies. You see how, and 6 dies in a way that you get to be in control of. Mm-hmm. And you get to, like, kind of have a part in it. It's not just, you watch him die in a cutscene. It's, you get to see how far you can go before he dies.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fog of war. So, I mean, it's like, you really don't see how many enemies he's really fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it's endless.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no end to it. And it's just, you're like, this is it. This is the last stand. Do whatever.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of games that had, like, really satisfying endings that because I can't think of any that I own, because a lot of times the games I start, I'd never finish.
Let me look at my games here, see what I have. That I got my jollies over the ending.
Halo 2 was kind of bad, but I can understand why it was bad, because, like...
Uncharted. I know you've never played it, because you don't have a PS3. Any of the Uncharted games, they could have ended the games, like, boom. Like, one, they could have never made another one, and it would have been really good. Like, the ending was so, like...
Closure.
Yeah, and they didn't, like, with 2... Because you knew there was going to be a third one after 2. Because they already said they were going to do it when they were releasing it. It's like, when there's like a trilogy involved, games can leave like cliffhangers, like when Mass Effect, when you beat the Human Reaper at the end. Spoiler alert. Like you see like all the Reapers just poured in surrounding Earth, and you're like, ugh.
This
Boom,
isn't over.
Yeah.
And then, like, let's see. Jak and Daxter, which was, I think, my favorite PS2 game. Like, I think I liked it better than the other two. But, like, that could have been a game in itself, never have the other sequels, and it would have been fine. But then when they added the second one, they led up to the third one.
Yeah.
Because, the second one was in a totally different universe. Like, they literally universe hopped in the machine they built in the first one. And, I don't know, like, I felt like, if I want a game, especially if it's a game that, is a new product and not, like, a part of a trilogy or part of even, like, a series, like Bioshock Infinite, it's not technically a sequel in the sense that it has nothing to do with, it's not in Rapture.
It's
a different place, different characters. Oh, yeah, if it's a game like that, I'd like some kind of closure without, it just being open to like, well, here comes the sequel, be ready for that. I'd like closure from a new game. And then they get a sequel, and then they're like, okay, now we're going to have a trilogy. The new game is coming after this. Here's the cliffhanger.
Okay.
Because a lot of people hate cliffhangers. I'm okay with them.
it's I know I'm blah, 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 stumbling here, but I feel like if it's done well enough that you're like, oh man, I can't wait for the next one. Like, or it can be, why would they do this? Leave it at this point. Like, if a character was about ready to die and they left it there, and you're like, oh, like, wait another year to see if this character you got really attached to lives or dies.
Yeah, like the way Halo 2 did it, I was fine with, because it wasn't like you don't know if anyone's about to die. It's like you don't know how they're going to solve the problem, which is kind of what they have to do. They kind of have to keep you hooked into it to get into the next game, which Halo 2 it ended with they're about to start the big battle for Earth. I think that's a good place to end it. Like, a lot of people hated the Halo 2 ending. I was okay with it because I was like, right, that just means I really want to play the third one now.
Yeah.
And when the third one came out, I felt, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, it was good. I really liked Halo 3 better than... No, take that back. Never mind. I feel like I might be a little bit biased about liking Reach more than Halo 3 because I spent $120 on Reach. I got the Legendary Edition. I still have the statue in my closet. I look at that thing every time I get dressed.
Worth it.
It was worth it. Alduin!
Alduin!
From Skyrim.
Fuck yes.
That's it.
Fuck yes.
That's it. Alduin.
Alduin. Alduin.
Oh my god. You called it too.
I knew it.
As soon as one of us figured it out. Oh shit, dude.
So you would like a kind of turn-based strategy RPG-based game with
fantasy elements.
Fantasy elements.
In an open world.
An open world.
With many side quests and a post game.
A post game and like no cliffhanger.
No, well,
would it be like a series of games or just one game?
Now see, that depends on like the story. Like, if I couldn't finish, or if I like thought of like, I don't know, it may not be like a series, but I might put out like an expansion to it.
Yeah.
If it called for it, like how Skyrim's got that new Dawnguard thing. Yeah. Speaking of which, that has nothing to do with what I thought it was gonna be. It wasn't gonna be the elf. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah,
the vampires.
Now that you mention it, I don't understand why they didn't just go like, right, here's war with the elves, do it. But they're just like, nope, vampires.
Yeah, and you can already be a vampire in Skyrim. Just these vampires look like you like transform and everything.
You like actual Dracula style vampires. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, because it looks kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't something hinted towards at the game. There were vampires, sure, but, I don't think there was enough interest in the vampires to have a whole expansion out for them. I think if, there was... The hell am I looking at?
Oh, he's talking about this video. It's about all the it's got a whole bunch of internet memes on it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was Sexy Sax Man that just got gypped by that gazelle. Look, you've got Nyan Cat up in the background making rainbows and those dancing prisoners.
Dancing prison? I've never seen
You've never seen that? Like, a whole bunch of prisoners have an organized dance routine. It's the gayest prison ever.
Okay, yeah. TV. Anyway, it's like, it was a part of the original game that I don't think needed an expansion to cover it.
Yeah.
Kind of like pandas in WoW.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with pandas in the sense that I'm okay with the whole new continent and the whole new Asian theme of it. Mm-hmm. It just seems like Pandaria. I think like that was so out of the blue. I can understand why people were like confused and kind of upset about it. I don't understand why everyone was hating it from the beginning, because it looked awesome.
Yeah.
It's just that, there were so many different things that could have been what it should have been.
But I mean, you got to think of like Cataclysm. You fucking fought Deathwing. Like that was something substantial. Like, he fucking ripped the world apart. How can you top that?
Although, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, because I think they've actually announced this. But for the end of Pandaria, the final boss, you're gonna kill Garrosh.
Really?
in the Horde. Yeah, like I think they've like actually announced this, which people were angry about it because they're like, why not leave it a mystery so that we can figure out like as the course of the game goes on,
Mm-hmm.
or as the course of the expansion goes on. And I understand what they're saying, but um, it's like I feel like this is the kind of thing where people
Wait, if you killed Garrosh, what would the people on the Horde side do for the final?
you still kill
Ending.
Garrosh. You like they're like the point is Garrosh gets so evil and overpowered and
That
like
the Alliance and the Horde
bloodthirsty
like
that
team up, or
pretty much everyone wants him gone. Which I feel like I'm okay with the fact that they spoiled it or whatever because it gives Mr. Pandaria a definite goal because
Mhm.
otherwise there was no goal. It was just like, all right, here's the Panda World. Here's all these cool pieces of lore that you didn't know, and people are looking at it going, right, why though? Why like what's so what? Why should I keep playing this game? And they're like,
Hmm.
oh here's the final thing you're aiming towards. And as long as you have that definite goal, I think it's okay. But I
Mhm.
can also understand why people are saying you should have left it so that we didn't know and then have us figure it out.
I mean, one thing I did not like about WoW, or no, I don't, I guess not that I didn't like. I kind of feel indifferent about it. Um, when like they didn't have the final raid for Deathwing out. You know what? No, now that I think about it, I really do like it. How all the raids and dungeons were actually steps that you were taking with
Yeah,
Thrall
yeah,
to find all the pieces that you needed to take on Deathwing.
yeah.
Like that was really
I really did like those last three dungeons,
the
like the the
Hour
ones
of Twilight
Hour of
ones.
Twilight, Well of Eternity, and was like End World.
Yeah, End of Time.
End of time. Like those three, not only were they really well created, like to be, like they weren't hard. They weren't.
No, they
They
weren't
were.
hard.
They were like I could knock out.
I mean, if you had people that knew what that you were doing, you could do it. But if people were dicking around, like and just not
Hell-
doing their job, you would get boned.
Hell, people. I've played games where people were dicking around and we still survived. Like the first like the Jaina part of the end of time
Oh yeah.
where you have to collect the shards. There were tons of time where people were just like, I'm gonna go collect that one over there that's right on the other side of those 5 guards. And no one would be around him, and we'd still be fine because, I could heal, the tank could tank, that guy would probably be dead, but, we didn't suffer from not having him.
hmm
We'd still be able to win, and then we'd resurrect him and go like, alright, keep going. I mean, like, not keep being a dick, but I mean, we can continue on with the dungeon. There was no, like, you just screwed us up to the point where we die now.
Yeah.
And there, but I mean, in terms of lore and like importance, like the first time I went through, I felt like I'm doing something amazing right now,
Yeah.
which wasn't in any of the other dungeons up until that point. Mostly.
hmm
But I mean, I can understand why people were angry at pandas because there's this whole open area that Blizzard hasn't really explored yet of the old gods.
Oh yeah.
And people like want to know what's up with them and what are they going to do and like what's going on
Well,
there.
what if that's going to be another expansion?
And that's what I'm thinking. Like I think they're going to add it in, but not now because I think they want to get at least 2 more expansions up. Like one to get 95, one to get 100. I think once they reach 100,
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I don't know if they might release 2 expansions with 5 each because people would be like, I don't know if I want to spend more money. Like that'd be, I mean, including Pandaria, that's $120 just for expansions if they're $40 each.
Yeah.
But I mean, would you pay $120 to get all the way up to level 100 in Warcraft?
Probably not because I've quit. But like I don't know. Like if I was still into it, I probably would. I mean, depending on what the content was. Like if they had one, like some people wanted a expansion on the Emerald Dream.
Oh yeah.
That I didn't get it. Like I wasn't too into the Emerald Dream because it was just like one. And I suppose that's just because I never played any of the original Warcraft games,
Mhm.
and the Emerald Dream back then was like a big piece of lore. But in WoW, the only part they mentioned of it was one little like level 12 dungeon
Yeah.
In the Barrens, this guy gets caught in the Emerald Dream, and you have to go wake him, and it's the shittiest dungeon there is. I hate Wailing Caverns,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean that's the only introduction I've had into it. So, but I can understand like a lot of people from old Warcraft. Those people are really for it, and I can understand why because it's a big piece of lore. I just never been introduced to it.
Okay.
And I think I'm calling it maybe. I think the final boss of WoW ever, maybe. This kind of speculation, but I think it would kind of make sense if they wanted to definitely end the game.
Mm-hmm.
Would be killing Sargeras, the leader of the Burning Legion.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was Illidan. No, first it was Kill Jaden, which apparently they're bringing him back.
What?
For one of the expansions, they're bringing Kill Jaden back, and then they killed the Lich King. Then they killed Deathwing, and those are all big people that's leading towards something. And I think the thing it's leading towards is the person who pretty much caused it all, Sargeras.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do end it with that,
you called it.
You
did call it.
I think that's what they're ending with it with. If I'm wrong, I don't care. I don't play the game anymore. But that's what my guess is.
Are you thinking about playing it again? I would like to see more of Pandaria before I make my decision, because I was like, I was one of the people who were like, pandas really? Like I never knew about how like Pandaria was back in Warcraft.
Well, one of the
Warcraft
panda
series.
guys was they mentioned it, yeah. But I mean, with me, it's a thing where I have to wait to see if I ever want to play the game again because I go into it in cycles where I get this really strong urge to play it, and so I do. Hooks me in for a couple months, and then eventually I just lose interest. And so if a cycle starts up again where I want to play again, then I'd probably get Pandaria. I've never been against it because I really like the look of it, and I feel like they could do really well with it.
Have you seen them redid all the character designs for a lot of the... Like, it's supposed to look more fluid, like all the animations are supposed to...
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and it's supposed to look more fluid, but it's not taking away the WoW, like, art style and everything.
Yeah.
They'd almost have to with the monk class. All the, karate and kung fu shit. They'd have to make it look fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
By the way, I don't know if... Are we still on topic?
I kind of feel like we are, in some way, because, we're talking about what we'd like to see and all that in games, and that...
Well, in the, what I'd like to see in games, the Guild Wars 2 coming out, I'd like to see more people doing what they're doing, in that, you buy the game, you don't have to pay a subscription for it.
Oh, yeah.
You just buy the game, and now you get to play online forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see more of that. However, I don't think I'm going to get Guild Wars 2, because he's groaning, and I can imagine, a lot of you are groaning. But it's just, I'm looking at it, and it's just not looking interesting to me. I don't know. It's just one of those games that I just don't have the feeling that I need to go out and play it. And I think part of it, and I mentioned it before to you, I think the game looks really uninteresting visually. I don't think it looks very good.
Well, I think you should go suck a dick, because I think it looks really good.
The reason why I say that is because, with an MMO like this, you have to have some kind of style of your own. And I don't think Guild Wars 2 has a style.
Maybe that is their style, is not having a style.
Which I think is kind of not the right way to go. Because, WoW has its cartoony style. Even, Tor has its, kind of cartoony, but also kind of realistic looking style. And, the big different character types. And Star Wars in itself is a style. The way buildings look and the way the people look. But then, there was a new online game called Terra.
Oh, yeah.
It's Korean.
I heard about that.
It's, the characters and the backgrounds are very stylistic. They look realistic, but they're very styled. Especially the buildings. Especially the environments look really styled. And even, the characters, they have a style of their own. Kind of a I don't even know how to explain, like kind of anime-ish, game-ish.
Hmm.
Some of the characters are really anime, but then there are others that they're just like big hulking monster guys. But then you look at Guild Wars, and the Char just look like lions. Like they just look like boring ass lions. The humans look like boring ass humans. The Norn look like boring ass humans. The Sylvari look like green humans. And then the short guys, they just look fucking ugly. Like they look like aliens.
It's kind of like how the Alliance for World of Warcraft was just like human, really small human, blue human,
Yep.
wolf character.
I mean, like
They're transforming human.
transforming human. I mean, they kind of they with WoW they kind like they've been kind of stepping up with the alliance. Where like, okay, now you have these fantastic space goat creatures, and then you have werewolves, and now you're having pandas. They're like kind of. I think they kind of realized their problem, and I think the Horde also realized their problem was all their creatures look really hideously grotesque.
Well, I mean, you got the Blood Elves.
And that's what they did. They added the Blood Elves, go like, right, here's a normal looking race. And then they added the Goblins, go like, here's a familiar looking race. And now they're adding Pandas, here's a cute race.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as people...
I'm going to make my panda look like it sucked a whole lot of dick. Yeah, what do you have to say about that? I'm just going to make it look awful.
But yeah, I mean...
Give it the worst face ever.
I think WoW, for, the fact that I'm not playing it anymore, and the fact that a lot of people saying it's dying out. I think that they've learned a lot of lessons over the years, and all these new MMOs to compete with them, they have to learn the lessons WoW learned, and I think they are in the sense that Guild Wars, you're not having the completely hotkey based combat where every button does a thing. So like these 5 buttons do different things if you want them to. And then, they don't have their old subscription. They just have buy it once. And, and then Tor, they focus more on story. They were making changes. And then Terra, they're doing this whole thing where, like, you get to govern your own city. Like, a lot of MMOs are adding different things now. And I think it's really cool that they're doing that. And I don't know if people will be able to stay interested in WoW for another 2 expansions.
That's the thing. They're gonna have to really do something different that'll keep them interested, or even get to get new people coming in. I mean, you've seen on the websites like ads that are like free to play till level 20.
Yeah,
it'll get people like, oh, this is really good, and
yeah, and it's also a tight thing because like they don't want to change it so much that they kick out the old people that are still addicted to the thing. Yeah. They don't want to kick out the oldies by bringing in newbies, but they don't want to just exclude the newbies.
Yeah.
Especially when the newbies are being drawn into other games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, WoW might die. It's like not soon, but like
in the future.
In the future, like few years, depending on how Pandaria goes and how reception to whatever the next expansion is going to be.
That's why I'm thinking they might either if they put 2 where each one of them increases the level cap by 5, or they just do one more that just hits it at 100 and then they're done.
Yeah.
I guess that really might depend on, like you said, how well Pandaria does.
Yep. I mean, if Pandaria is cool enough that people are like, what am I missing? I have to go join this now. Or if Pandaria is bad enough to get like a lot of the old people to go like, right, I'm not having fun anymore. I don't think anyone has fun technically with WoW. I think they just play it just because it's a habit.
I really liked WoW for like the dungeons, and it's really fun to have or play when you're playing it with other people. Like if you're raiding with people that it gets really fun.
Yeah. Just
because you actually have you devise like strategies, and it really gets fun if you have people that that are playing it. But if you're doing it by yourself and you're like in a raid with a whole bunch of random people, I mean, I don't know. It's circumstantial. At least I think it is.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if I ever get into a cycle again where I want to play WoW, I might have a different opinion of Pandaria or.
Because I mean, think about it. Remember when we, it was Colton, you and I, we would play WoW, and level up together and do the dungeons, and that was
It was fun.
We had a good time doing that.
For however briefly we could do it, because like by the time I got to level 5,
we were already at like 40 and something.
You were already at 40.
I had the recruit a friend thing, so me and my friend, we got 3 times experience, so we fucking flew real fast.
Yeah, and then like there was a point where Colton stopped playing, and then I got up to level like 85. I got to the level cap, and then like there was just nothing to do because at that point you'd stopped, and then Chad wasn't gonna get Cataclysm. So like so like there was just no one for me to play with, and it just got kind of grindy.
Yeah.
Not even like grindy in the sense that I had all these quests to do, more like grindy in the I need these points to get this armor that I might use to go raiding one day if I ever feel like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, that's our WoW talk, and our.
I think that might be good for the whole thing. I mean,
what would you name your perfect game?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't remember what I named it. It was something like Pants Drizzle.
Jizzle.
Jizzle Drizzle.
Drizzle Pants.
Drizzle Pants.
I know it had something to do with Izzle.
Which I had an idea. I don't know if this would be for a game or a movie where like. Actually, this is totally off topic. Never mind.
No, what was it? Spring out. Where was it?
It was like a movie where it's in the not near future and not necessarily too far. It's kind of in the future, and humans basically become the evil aliens that we were afraid were always going to invade us. Because we have to go invade other people.
Tits. That'd
Be
cool.
And like, I don't know. That was I don't know how they would do that as a game.
I don't know.
I think it might be more of a movie or a book or something. Anyway, that was totally off topic, and I think we're just winding down here.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it to a close. Is there anything? I don't have anything else to say.
I don't have anything else except I think my game. I don't think I ever mentioned this. I think it would be linear, but with different ways to go depending on what you wanted to. It was like each decision you make changes your path a little bit, but not so much that it turns into a sandbox. And anyway, I think that's all I had to say. All right, this has been Brad,
and this is Chase,
and this has been Unauthorized Access. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.